Hello. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's Pick a Read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. The question I chose for this one is, where is my next opportunity? The choices I have here are this, I think this says Grand Canyon on it, this red ornament, which I think is very pretty. The middle one is a small little dish that was painted on. It's I'll just tell you, there's a flower on it. I forgot. I think it's an impatient. Maybe not. That's on there. That's this one. And then this last one is a little plaque. It's I think of it as like the Tree of Life. I mean, Tree of Life looks a little bit different, obviously, but that's what I think of it as. And there's a little heart in the center of it, and it's copper around it. I don't know if that's going to pick up on camera, but hopefully it does. So that way, I figured these are different choices. I try to get different things out there. Something that could like give you a minute to look at it. Is there something that you like? Sometimes it's what you don't like. So like if there's one of these that you're like, it bothers you, or you're like, I don't like that and I don't know why, you might want to watch that one just to see if there's an opportunity that maybe you're avoiding that could trigger that way. Keep that in mind. Like if you're looking at it and you're like, I like this one, but I can't stand that one, or that one really bothers me, I might check them both out, look at them objectively, and just see if they really add into your life and see if they show you your next opportunity. Because I keep getting, for a lot of you, it might be something that you're not seeing an opportunity because something is kind of like, oh, I don't know if I really like that, or I don't know if I really want to go that way, or I don't know if I really want to deal with that. That might be exactly where your opportunity is, possibly. So when you're doing this, of course, I would definitely look at any one of them that you're very attracted to, you very much like. But also, if there's one or even more that you're like, oh, I kind of don't like that picture, it kind of bothers me, you might also want to look at that one too. Or if there's just one here that you just are bothered by, check that one out. Whatever works for you. Of course, take a minute if you need to pause the video, decide what one you want to watch. Besides that, if you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. This is James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you very much for watching, and let's go ahead and get into your selection. Hello, this is for those of you who chose the Grand Canyon ornament. Where is your next opportunity? Also, the decks and dice information is below in the description. I know I just realized I forgot to mention that. Hopefully I mentioned that in each one of these selections, but hearing it in a distance, hearing it from a distance, hearing it from a distance. The sound is there. The sound is there. Okay. The sound is there. Let's just put that over there. So where your next opportunity is it a hidden opportunity is a good question. Because it might be there out in front of you, but maybe you're like, yeah, but is it really? Or, yeah, I don't know if that's really worth my time or if I really want it. What is the current energy that's working for those who chose the Grand Canyon ornament? What is that current energy showing them in relation to this opportunity? There's information here, but I don't think I have the full picture. I'm not sure that I know that I have that full picture or not. I'm not sure if I know it or not. Opportunity is here. I do feel like the information has kind of come around a little bit, but it's not totally there. It's halfway there. Is somebody blocking it? Is somebody blocking it? Maybe. High Priestess reverse and the Ace of Cups, but it's like this. Somebody might be blocking it, or somebody's not fully bringing it forward because they're not really sure that you fit. This is interesting. I feel like you're trying to figure something out anyway. So you might be distracted with something else going on. You might be distracted. Okay, because I got the Fool card here. And I feel like I'm looking for something that's going to sustain me. I'm not looking for a small opportunity. I'm not looking for a minimal, temporary it works for today type of opportunity. I'm looking for something that I can like grab a hold of, make something of, and build on later. Because I'm looking for the bigger opportunities. I'm definitely looking for the bigger opportunities, and this does match. But the information is not full. I'm not getting the full picture. I think that's the problem. Because this opportunity does match what you want, but I'm not getting the full picture. I don't know that. Whatever's coming towards you from this opportunity. So, for example, if you're job hunting, you're looking at something and you're like, oh, I see that they're hiring, but I don't think it pays what I'm looking for, or they're not offering the type of job I'm looking for. But like the full scope isn't there. Like they're hiring, but then they're hiring for other things, but they haven't brought that forward yet. And they might be doing one of those things where we're going to hire for these positions, and then the people who do well in those positions will move up into these other ones. It could be something like that. There's potential here. There's a lot of potential. But I'm not really sure. Something is blocked. I keep getting it's blocked. What is this? The 9 of Wands, which is like, it's like a gate in my opinion. Somebody's at the gate and it's like, am I allowed in? And I'm waiting to see if I'm allowed in. And I feel like they're holding back. They're like, we're not letting people know that this other stuff is available yet because we don't want to attract the wrong people. We want people who actually fit the situation, and when we're sure and we've kind of worked with them a little bit and like, okay, this is a good thing, then we want to move them forward. It doesn't have to be a job opportunity. This could be romance very easily because you do have the Ace of Cups. It depends on what you're looking for, and it's like, it could be that easily too. Kind of like there's somebody that maybe shows interest to you, but you're like, I don't think they have longevity, or I'm not seeing all the benefits of being with them. It just hasn't presented itself yet. Somebody is holding back. They're not sure that this is going to work, and they're not sure that you're the right fit yet. So you might be equally looking at each other going, I don't know if you fit. It might be equal. So if it's person to person, like it's a romance thing, or it's like a job thing, some type of opportunity, maybe it's a house you're trying to find, you're not seeing all the potential in the house. They're not seeing all the potential that you could actually purchase it for the price they want. It's like the potential is not being actualized. So how do we help you at least get more information so you could like really make an educated decision whether this is not for you or this is for you? Like at the very least, you want the full picture so you can be like, okay, now they see the whole picture. It might be one of those things where, yeah, this is a lot better, but maybe no. Or you could see like, okay, this is the full picture, and now that I see this, yes, I do want to move forward. It's an opportunity. You don't have to take it, but this might be what you want. The thing is, they need you to have the full picture so you can make that educated decision. Why is this? I don't know if I like this. It's not a bad card, but I'm not really convinced I like this. So could we give it more definition here? I don't know what this is, but the communication is not working. It could, but it's not. So whatever this, if it's a job, or if it's maybe you're trying to date somebody or whatever, communication does come off of this card. That's not the problem. But it's like, it's not giving, it's not showing, it's not just like you just have to ask and they'll tell you. It's not that. It's more like you got to look between the lines. You got to put together the puzzle. This energy, whether it be a person, a situation, a job, a house, whatever it may be, is very protective about what they know and what they're worth. And they do not want people knowing it. They're very careful about letting people know that. It's something I feel like they're saying you're going to have to discover it first and then build from there if you want this opportunity, if you want it. I think that's why it's bothering me, because I think this energy has been disappointed many times and feels like they've been abused or misused when people find this information out. They don't think about the actual situation itself. They're just looking at the benefits. It's kind of like if this is a job situation, people look at how much you can make. They don't look at if they actually fit the situation and they actually like the situation. They're just like seeing dollar signs, and that's not what they want. Same thing with like romance. maybe they have a lot to offer. They have a lot of benefits, a lot of assets, but they're like, I've been used before. People see what I'm worth, what I can do, all this other stuff, and they like me for what I can do for them, not who I am, and I don't want that in my life. So I feel like this energy has been burned multiple times and is very careful. It's not that they won't open up, but it may be a while before it happens. A while is subjective. So how do we put you in the driver's seat to where you can find the advantage here? To find out what the picture is. Like, I feel like you need to see the full scope to know if this is really worth it or not. Knight of Wands, and then the Temperance card reversed. Okay, so the Temperance card reversed is kind of like, make sure, when it's reversed, it's like, make sure what you do makes sense. Don't just start working things out and seeing what shakes out. Make calculated movements forward. Make sure you know what you want to know, and then just put the energy right through to it. Keep working at something. It needs to be more defined and more focused. The Temperance card right side up is a good card, but it's like randomly just keep moving things together to see what works out. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. There's a lot of success with that, but they're saying for this situation, that's not going to work here. And even though you have the Knight of Swords back, or the Knight of Fire backing it up, which both of these are fire energies, they're saying you need to define, put the focus in, what do you want to know, what do you need to know, and drive towards that and keep moving towards that. Put the effort towards, like, what do you want to know? So for example, if this was a dating thing, I want to know if this person maybe is good with children, good person all around, is financially stable, things like that. And go, okay, I got my goal. First goal, let me drive and see how I get this answer. Okay, I got that answer. Okay, let me drive, get this answer. Okay, I got that answer. Okay, let me get this answer. Okay, I got that answer. Put the drive towards it. I feel like the questions will pop in your head, the things you need to know for this. For example, if it was a business opportunity or a job, I need to know, how much money will I make? Is there opportunity for advancement? What is it like working at that job? What is the job itself like? Do I really want to do this job? Go in there, find the offers, stuff like that. What do you want to know? What do you need to get? And also, like, you don't have to go directly for it. So, like, for example, when going for a job, I don't remember the site, but like you can look up like what that job normally pays in your area and what that company normally pays for that job, so you can get like an idea of like how much you can expect to make within within like a category, for example. Same thing with like if you're dating somebody, you could probably Google or find out people you know in common, or try to find information like that, stuff like that. Okay. You're going to get only so far with your research, and I feel like there's still going to be pieces missing. What is this, the Four of Cups? I feel like you find a lot of good information, but there's some pieces that are still going to be missing. Okay, this is your next opportunity. I feel like what they're saying is when you get this far, it's like reevaluate what you did find and ask yourself, everything that you're finding here, if that's all you had, if that's all the situation was available, that's all that was available there, would that be enough? Or would that sink the ship? If that last piece just was not attainable, would all this information sink the ship or help it stay afloat? Am I saying that right? Okay. Evaluate what you do know. Realize that you don't have the full picture yet. Is it worth giving it a chance, is the question. Is this situation worth giving a chance? Are you willing to get into it and go, you know what? For example, I took this job, I'm here 6-8 months, and I'm like, you know what? This isn't what I want, so if I have to keep looking for a job, will I be okay at this job if I decide I have to keep looking for another one because this isn't going to be acceptable? Same thing with like a dating thing. If I keep going forward with this situation and try to get to know them, and then like after 6 to 8 months, I'm like, I got the missing pieces and this isn't acceptable, do I feel like it would be difficult to move on from it? Or can I go into this situation going, we're going to live separately, we're going to be where we need to be, and I'll just keep that in the back of my head. I haven't made my full decision yet, but I'm going to move forward and see where this goes. Is that an option in this situation? Okay, I need more information on that because they got the Two of Wands and acceptance. This is another possibility with the same moment. It needs some more time to form. Your level of commitment makes a difference here. So if you decide to give this opportunity a chance, if you're like, you know what, I'll just watch myself, I just won't get in too deep, and I'll give it a chance, I'll give it a shot. Like, that's the acceptance. Like, all right, I'm just going to go into it, whatever it is. Like, maybe I'm going to start going through the buying the house process, but I'm going to ask some more questions, and I'm going to research other things as they keep moving forward. And I'm also kind of like, if you're going to do the house thing, I would probably ask myself, if I get this house and I decide it's not for me, do I feel like it would be hard to resell it? Do I think I'd have options? A house seems like it's even more difficult, but I feel like I want to research a little more, and maybe I want to start the process. But I feel like, and I haven't worked in that industry in a long time, but I want to say it takes about a month from the point you decide to buy the house to you sign the final papers. And through that month, maybe you could find out more information as you're going through the process. And from what I remember, until you sign a certain thing, you can walk away with no harm, no foul, I believe. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. I kind of had that impression anyway. So, like, getting into it, trying to go a little deeper, because I feel like when I start really getting into it, I start seeing what I need to see. And the thing is here, they're like, this isn't about communication, it's about proof. This came out upside down, which is interesting to me at first. But now I'm seeing it's like, this isn't anything to really like talk about or kind of like, I wonder. It's nothing like that. They're saying proof is right there in front of you. As you get deeper into it, you can see how it actually works out. So if like it was a person, do they work well with kids? You bring kids around, you see how they actually react with them. You see, okay, now that I'm closer to them, I'm seeing that they're very dependable and very liked at their job. Now that I'm getting closer to them, I see that they have more than enough money to sustain themselves and to be a successful part of this partnership. Same thing with the job thing. Like, okay, now that I'm in it and I've tried it a bit, I'm seeing how other people have moved forward. I'm seeing where I fit. I'm seeing that they want to move the right person forward, and I feel like I am the right person. It's kind of like discovering things as I keep moving forward. It's like the proof is here, how they treat me, what's going on, as I'm going through the process of buying a house. Because again, I feel like there's a month. Triple check that. Like, don't take my word for it, because I don't know for sure. Readings are for entertainment purposes only. Let's remember that. But like, keep researching and find out more about that. And like, oh, like insurance wants this type of check done. It's kind of like, maybe this insurance is like, before we go forward with this and approve this loan for you, we need the roof checked for this and that. And you're like, okay, yeah, I want to know that too. But also, can we add these other things? I would like to also know this and that. While they're checking that, I want to know about this too. Like something pops in your head, for example. Stuff like that. The situation, it's one of those things, it's a grower. It grows over time. It is actually more akin to what you're looking for, because I get, for those of you who are hitting with this, you want something that's going to build and add to value as you keep going with it. You want it to get more and more value over time. I'm getting like, when I get into this, I'm seeing like there's a lot of potential here, and that is actually what I'm looking for. It's going to take some effort, it's going to take some work, but I feel like I can make this what I want it to be. It's discovering that and deciding like, all right, I see that there's going to be more work, but the work will lead to where I want to be. So I feel like it helps me get a better scope of like, is this for me or not? It's going to start off with the page energy and I'm liking it, but it's like over time, I got to make sure I'm in control of this, that I'm steering the ship and I can get where I want to be. There will be a point where the Hanged Man releases and they realize that you are a good fit for this situation, be it dating, a business situation, whatever it is. There will be a moment where all of a sudden it's like this energy, this Hanged Man energy goes away, and then all of a sudden they're going to be like, wow, Grand Canyon ornament here, perfect. I'm really glad that they're interested. Now we got to show them that we want more from them. It will start coming back your way. The energy and interest will start coming back your way. It just may be very delayed before it finally starts showing up. in a sense to where I feel like, okay, this is what I'm looking for. Oh, I'm getting back what I'm putting in. I feel like the energy is there that I'm looking for. I think we're there. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day. Hello. This selection is for those of you who chose, I'm going to call it the flower dish. Also, the decks and dice information is also below. I just realized that after I turned off the camera that I didn't include that in the original startup. So if you want to know that information, that's below. Otherwise, let's get into your reading. This is an opportunity. The interesting part of it that I'm getting so far is like, are we getting along? And should we be? Ooh. You got the sun card at the end? Okay, what? There's a lot of good energy here trying to come forward. A lot of good energy trying to come forward. I feel like there's something about conflict that we have to address. Conflict, it may be the type of conflict. So like, how do I explain this? It's not just like, it's not like verbal versus like physical. I feel like it's more about the way it's like how mean somebody might be. Because I'm seeing some people and I'm like, they can be very nice or they can be flat out nightmares. And I'm like, I feel like that's what I'm getting into. Like, it's the political energy almost. Whatever the opportunity is you're looking for, I feel like I want to comfortably get into something. I just, like, I don't see why we have to have a conflict at all. Why can't we just be nice to each other? Why can't we just see what's here? And I feel like that's the energy you're going in with this. Like, we can just be civil and nice to each other. Why can't we just do that? Which is rational, in my opinion. Whatever the situation is, whatever the opportunity is, it's not presenting itself in that energy. But it's also kind of like, I do feel like whatever this is, the more work, the more benefit. It's like the more you put into it, the more you get out of it. I've heard people say, I don't know if I always agree with this, but it's like anything really worth it takes a lot of effort and a lot of work. And maybe, depending on what it is. But whatever this is, the opportunity, the level of success you're looking for from this opportunity, we got to work through some conflict. There is some conflict here. I feel like you've been very careful with whatever this subject is to... You get the Six of Cups and you got the Hermit. I feel like you've been very careful to look at, like, how is it really adding up? I just keep getting that, like, I'm looking to try to get into something peaceful. At least fairly peaceful, like realistically peaceful. I feel like when I'm saying peaceful, it's not like I expect to be skipping through the sunshine every day, every night. I feel like it's kind of like, you know, there's moments, and moments happen. For the overall energy, I'd like 80, if not 90% of the time to be peaceful. Whether that's realistic or not, I feel like that's what I'm looking for. And I feel like I'm looking at this, but I'm also noticing the Hermit, excuse me. One of the reasons I might be able to look back and see certain times in my life where I have had peaceful moments, those moments might have been more peaceful because I stayed away from things, or I kept myself from not participating in things. It's kind of like instead of going outside playing with friends, maybe reading a book or doing something else that I enjoy personally by myself. It's kind of like instead of having to deal with conflict, I just stayed away from it altogether in this subject. You do have what it takes to attain this and enjoy it, by the way. But it may be an odd feeling or something where, like, This isn't how I imagined it working for me in a successful fashion. It may take a realignment of perception. A realignment of perception. Am I saying that right? Success is here. Opportunity is here. But it might be like really looking at something kind of like, you know what? People having a difference of opinion doesn't have to be negative, but it may be something that's required to get that level of happiness that I actually want. I don't want the stress. And I keep getting like, something about this situation makes me feel like I really don't want the stress. This can go a couple different ways, business or personal. I am getting the analogy of like dating somebody or getting to know somebody, and then realizing that their social group, family, friends, whatever it is, has a lot of points of contention. This might be something where you've dealt with this before and decided it wasn't for you. I've seen that happen in relationships where it's kind of like things are going well, people are liking each other, getting to know each other, but then the exponential problems are like the social group around one of them. And they're like, and the other person is like, you know what? I don't like the way this is going. I don't like that there's constant issues here. There's certain things I'm just not willing to deal with, so I'm going to have to say goodbye. I have seen that before where people have dated and then they meet the in-laws, for example, and they're like, this is not going to be my life. I am not going to do that. I have seen that happen. I don't know why else we're putting it in. It doesn't have to be that. This could also be a thing with like business. If you're going for a job, for example, and like maybe there's been things in the past where you're like, I got involved in something and the job was great. They're giving me a complete example. I've had that where the job was great, but for example, maybe the pay isn't good enough. Or for some reason, the social energy here, there's a lot of negative energy, and it's kind of like the people are not very nice here. The job, I love the job, but the people, this isn't working. I have personally left jobs because of that, where the job was great, I love doing the job, but the negative atmosphere from people, and there's reasons for that, of course, but like, I gotta go. I can't be doing this. So there might be a history with like why you have left or said goodbye or passed on certain things because of conflict, which makes sense. The question is, whatever's coming forward, is the level of conflict toxic or productive? The difference is toxic is like it's just repetitive, bad, doesn't lead to anything good. Productive, there's conflict, but we work it out and we evolve and we get better and we get more out of it, just in case I need to explain that. The opportunity, is it here or is it not? You're getting offered something that you're not really sure you want. Could be romance, could be business. For some of you, if you're job hunting, for example, you might have seen like the name, you might have even seen the title of something pop up a couple times, but you're like, I don't want to do that. It might be one of those things like, I don't want to do that. Like for me, if I was looking for a job, a very physical job, even though I like to work out, I don't like to work out for 8 hours at a time. I like to work out for 40 minutes to an hour, not for 8 hours straight. I'm just saying. So it might be something where you're like, oh, a little bit of that? Okay. A whole 8 hours of that? I don't know about that. It might be something like that. Yeah, the information isn't coming in correctly. You've got judgment in question, which judgment in question is like this. It's not fully good, it's not fully bad, it's just kind of like, is it going to happen? The information is trying to come forward to you. I don't believe what's coming towards me. I don't feel confidence in it. I'm going to have to put more work into it if I really want to know what's there, but my first look at it is like, I don't know about this. I don't know if this is a good idea. I don't know if that's really smart for me. And I feel like I'm not taking it seriously, whatever this is, be it personal, romance, business, could be buying a house, whatever it may be. It's like, I'm seeing the offer, but I'm like, I don't know. Why research it? Because I don't think it's really something I should even go near. Why even consider it? That's where your opportunity is actually. So for those of you it's gonna hit with, I feel like there's already an opportunity here that you're like, oh, I don't think so. Some of you, it might take a day or two where it just clicks into focus, like, oh, that, yeah, that. Like, I feel like it's going to be like, oh, yeah, that. The possibility here is to get a little deeper in the research. So, like, if we're going to argue with this, because I used my own thing, like, say I was like, okay, this place is all physical. It looks like it's all physical activity. I don't think that's for me. The opportunity is like, well, what does it hurt to find out? What does it hurt to like go through the process and actually ask the questions, find out what it actually entails, how much of it's physical? Are there other positions at the same company that don't have to be physical to that level? Is that an opportunity here? Something is eluding you. Ooh, judgment in your favor is over to the side. You're needed for one. Whatever this opportunity is, it needs you just as much as you need it, whatever it is. And it's hiding. It's hiding. Something has to be unearthed. So again, if we're putting this together correctly, there's an opportunity being handed to you, but it's like, I don't like the way that looks. The real value is hidden. The real value is hidden. Be it a person, maybe it's somebody you want to date, and it's kind of like, I don't see how that's going to add up with us. They're saying if you get into it a little more, you might find that connection you're looking for. You might be surprised. And I'm going to even go there. Like, I'm one of those people where when I first go on a date with somebody, they may look great, but their personality can make or break it. And I've learned that over the years. Like, they could look, you know, whatever that ideal is. And then after a couple things and they say some nasty things that I don't like, whether it be to me or somebody else, I'd be like, oh, all of a sudden you're not very attractive to me anymore. Vice versa, I've gone on dates where people are like, I'm like, I don't really think they're my type of thing, but they're nice, so I guess I'll go, you know, might not, what does it hurt? It's dinner, who cares? Might as well just check it out. And then it turns out they're very nice, and it's kind of like, actually, this person just got a lot more attractive to me. That type of thing. It doesn't have to be romance. It could be business. It could be like a work situation. It could be a business opportunity. But I feel like I have to get a little deeper into it because you have the opportunity for a beginning. What's behind it? It's a beginning, but there's also saying with the path right behind it. This isn't just like, oh, that works, I'll take that. This is more of a beginning and like, what do I want it to be? Where do I want it to develop to? What other potentials are here? Quiet phone. Enough of you. Okay. Even though it's on vibrate, it's like still loud apparently. This is the conflict part. Can we get a little bit more definition in the conflict? I don't think it's like conflict. I feel like it's kind of like, should I go a little deeper with this conflict? It's kind of like, do I want to get a little bit, do I want to really start getting into this and start digging up the garden type thing? Like, do I want to get that type of dirty on this? The truth is trying to help you. Success is here too. Okay. I feel like whenever you might find a little bit more, it's kind of like doing that, going on the first date, like I said, for me. It doesn't have to be a date thing. Could be a business thing, like getting into the job interview and finding out, oh, there's other opportunities here. There are possibilities here. The internal, I think this is internal conflict. That makes better sense to me. Is this worth getting myself into and going, all right, I got into it. Now that I'm feeling it out, maybe not. I thought it could be. I saw some things I liked, but now that I got a little deeper into it, if I get a little, I'm like, oh, no, this isn't for me. Is it going to be hard to get out of it? That's the first question. The second thing is like, but what if I get into it and it's exactly what I want? What if it actually goes the way I want? How much value does that have for me? Is this worth the risk of giving it a chance? That's where they're. Be careful of this. If this reading is hitting, you don't want to run into it guns blazing. That's this, the Knight of Wands. You want to go slowly, is what I'm getting. Well, it's it might show you more. You can get more definition going slowly. You got to do what you got to do, obviously. But they're saying the opportunity shows up better going slowly. I mean, take it with a grain of salt. Watch how things are playing out around you if you decide to go that direction. Be careful not to just jump forward. Be careful. You got to do what you got to do. I respect that. But the opportunity you might not see little intricacies, little details that mean a lot to you. But if you kind of take it slower, and I get that's interesting that there's like a chess. Is that the queen? Okay. Queen of Pentacles, Knight of Cups. And they're showing a chessboard here. Move slowly is the ideal way to do this, is what I'm getting. Do what you got to do. But the details are like going to help you define what you really want here and help you kind of like, all right, I'm seeing, I want to get a little bit more specific with where I'm going to go. I want to get a little bit more niche with this. And I want this is where, and this is here, and I can have this, and this is where I want to be. So I'm getting it more directly right there. By going slower, you find the specifics that make sense to you, that matter to you, that help you get where you want to be. This card comes in as saying, as you're going slower, it may not be just finding what you actually want, but discovering kind of like, oh, I could be a grant writer. I mean, I like writing. I like to write political things. I could do this and that. Really, I could have that job. That could work for me. Or something when you're dating somebody, kind of like, however you add into this dating situation, kind of like, I didn't think I wanted that opportunity in my life, but they know a lot about this. Maybe they know a lot about, drywall and stuff like this. Kind of like, I never thought of myself as somebody who do you fix it themselves person or do it yourself person, whatever. But the person I'm dating knows a lot, and I can learn a lot from them, and I could actually, if we end up going together and creating a situation together, I could make things what I want without the cost being so high. Like, this might actually be more worth it to me than I really thought. I never thought of myself as a do-it-yourself person, but maybe I could do that. I could learn a lot from this person. We could create things together that are exactly what I wanted versus like me just having to explain to somebody what I want and then they just give me the option that they think they can do. Possibilities are there. And a very vocal phone. I'm so sorry about it vibrating. These two are together. Okay. There will be a moment. It goes really well, and I get that, but okay. So I feel like there's going to be a moment where I have to slow down. I don't have to do anything. I feel like there's a moment where it may be beneficial to slow down after I've realized all this stuff and kind of look at it for like, all right, how does this add into my life? Does this make sense with what I want and where I want to go? I feel like there's social pressure around me that shouldn't be there. Take that with a grain of salt. I feel like there's social pressure here. You've gotten this far. You need to go here now. You've gotten that opportunity. You need to go there now. You've gotten this. Well, go for that too. And I feel like people are pushing. Be careful of that. They're saying step back, disconnect, declutter, decide what you want, where you want to be. This is about your opportunity. This is about your happiness, not somebody else's. And people can be very vocal and insistent and be like, well, I know what you actually need. Well, no, you know what you actually need. Remember that. Step back. It's very beneficial to you to step back. Some people, like, I know that I've done it before, like if it's a work situation especially, I've gone out of the building for my lunch and driven to a store and just sat in the parking lot just so I can breathe and sort out my own thoughts without somebody yapping right next to me. I'm just like, I just need a moment so I can think out what I need to think out. Same thing if it's like a dating thing and there's a lot of family or friends. Step away from that. Have a night to yourself, maybe take a day off from work, just, chill, have some coffees, have some good food, and just think it out and decide what you want. This situation, it's not just a one thing. It's not just an opportunity and that's all it is. It has the potential to be a lot more, and you can hit the Sun card. This is the best card in the deck, in my opinion. you could have that beautiful outcome, you know, realistically. It's like, I don't believe in perfection, not in this planet, but you can have the perfect outcome with respect to like what your life is. It's kind of like when you go to a family event, a perfect outcome is like nobody got into a fight. We all pretty much got along, and everybody's still talking to each other. That to me is a perfect outcome. You know, we're still talking to each other. It's fine. Nobody got upset with anybody else. We had good food. It was a beautiful day. That's a perfect outcome to me. You know, there's a lot of good energy here. There's a lot of good energy, and it's kind of like letting it come forward and realizing that that next evolution in this opportunity is to step back, declutter what everybody else thinks, and just make sure that you know what you want and where you want this to go, and start heading in that direction. I'll give one last little analogy. It's like going to college, being 2 years into a degree, and then realizing, oh, I'd rather do this. And then people behind you, like maybe family and social structures, whatever, saying, no, 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 you got to go for the business degree. That's going to get you the most money. And you're like, no, I want to go for the art. I can make that work. I can live my life that way and make a sustainable income. I can just take these paths down art. I want to go art. And people going, no, you can't do that. That's not smart for you. And you're like, well, I can make it work. And this is what I want for my life. And this is my life. That's where I'm going to go. But it's stepping back and being like, I know I can do this. I know I have the talent. I know that I have a few different ways that I can work in advertising, work in this, work in that, become a teacher, whatever. And I can do my own thing. And while I'm doing those jobs, I can keep working on what I want and possibly become a success the way I want to be. It's you sorting it out for yourself, you making your own definition of like what you want and getting there, and being careful about other people's opinions and stepping back from that and deciding like, no, this is my life. This is where I want to go. They think that, I understood, but I'm not agreeing. I need to go where I'm happy. And it's here. There's a lot of happiness. I feel like once you start down your path, by the way, I think that's why the Two of Cups is here and why I haven't ended this yet. It may take people a while to catch up to your decision, but once they realize you've made your decision and you're anchored into it, they'll be as good as you can expect. They'll be as good as you can expect. We'll just leave it at that. All right, I think we're done. All right, thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day. Hello, this is for those of you who chose the heart tree. I'm going to call it the heart tree. It has a little copper around it, but I think of it as the heart tree. Also, the information on the decks and dice I'm using, that's below. I didn't mention that in the opening, so I wanted to make sure I opened it there, or mentioned it here. Okay, already shuffled. What do we have for those who chose the heart tree? Oh, this is interesting. Okay. It came out specific with the number of cards I picked up too, so they're kind of saying this is defined a certain way. Keep it, like, it's very defined. Whatever this is, it feels very defined. Like, this is the parameter, this is as far as you go. It's almost like you got to fill it all the way up to here, and that's it. No more, no less. No more, no less. Whatever the subject is you're interested in, I mean, it is the heart tree. It could be romance, doesn't have to be. Could be business. Maybe you're job hunting. Maybe you're house hunting. Whatever you're looking for. The opportunity you're looking for, there's been conflict in the past. Maybe it's been a social group, and there's been conflict in social groups or something. There's something with conflicts in the past. Can we get a little bit more about the conflicts in the past? Things were said that needed to be said. It's very ironic because I get that there was a lot of love in this situation in the past, but there was a lot of conflicts and maybe somebody who was a little bit too much trying to control things. A good communicator was here because I get the King of Swords and I get the Lover's card too. This doesn't have to be a love reading, by the way. But something in this conflict area they knew what they wanted. They were very open and vocal about it. They were very happy about it, but maybe it didn't match, or like it caused a conflict. Somebody was maybe could have been an over communicator, because when the king comes in on the dice, it comes in like this, kind of like things didn't quite line up, and it caused a lot of conflict. This reminds me of like people. I'm seeing this. This could be a romance thing. It doesn't have to be, but it's like people getting into romance, and then one of them is like, well, my career is taking me this way, and the other person's like, well, my career is taking me that way, and they get along, they love being around each other, but they're like, well, I'm not willing to sacrifice my career to be with you, so we're going to go our separate ways. There could have been a conflict like that in the past. If it's a business situation, it reminds me of like liking the job, hating the paycheck. Could have been something like that. Job, great, love it, love doing my job. Paycheck, not nearly enough. That could break something. That could be the conflict in the past if it was something like that. Like, in the past, the conflict was because I get that there were some really great things, but something sunk the ship. All right, we're going to let that go. The current energy coming in, maybe whatever the opportunity is coming forward, could be business, romance, friendship, social group, whatever it is. I feel like I have to keep reiterating that for some reason. You might be a bit gun shy, a little bit nervous, kind of like, you know what, I don't want to get invested in something and put all my energy into it like this and then find out, nope, not for you. Or like, it's like, there's 10 pieces to this puzzle. I like 5. I don't like 2. The other 3 are okay, but the 2 that I don't like, they're deal breakers. And I'm worried about that. I'm like, I don't know if I want to invest time figuring it out. Whatever it is, I feel like I'm not putting effort full force towards it. I'm holding back and waiting for something to show me its value. That's dangerous. If that's hitting, take it with a grain of salt. I feel like I feel like I've been this person, quite frankly, where you're just waiting for opportunities just to present themselves, and then when they present themselves, I'll choose from what I'm offered. It's a bad idea. I personally think it's a bad idea. I think of it very much in dating. I've had friends do this, where they wait for somebody to ask them out, and then based on who asks them out, they choose the best one. But there's other people that they want that are available that they don't ask, that they don't approach, because they're like, no, they should approach me. I just feel like we screw ourselves over when we have that attitude. Just my personal opinion. Because whatever's going on here, I feel like what's going on here is I'm waiting for the opportunity to be presented to me. And I think that's the problem. Because I'm not getting the success I want. I'm not getting the level of happiness I want. Having that outlook could be actually what's shooting me in the foot. So how do we do this differently if that's the case? Because I'm also seeing this over here. These cards are over here. Kind of like I'm ready to move forward when the right opportunity presents itself. But it's kind of like instead of going out there and finding the opportunity, I'm taking the passive route. I just feel like this isn't good enough. This isn't going to get you that's not going to bring you to your true happiness. You know what I mean? There is random energy around here. So what are we talking about with that? Ooh. For those of you this is going to hit with, it's not like you can't do it. It's not like you can't go out there and find it. That's not the problem. There might be a skill set, or not a skill set, a view on life. It does remind me, I think this is old-fashioned. I really do. And it was more maybe my generation and older, where it was common to where, you know, the guy was supposed to put out the offer and the woman was supposed to field the offers and decide what she wanted. It's almost like considered unattractive for a woman to go and ask a guy out, which I really think is toxic. But anyway, it's toxic to have that viewpoint. I really do think it's toxic to have that viewpoint. But living in that schism, it kept, to me, in my opinion, it kept women at, like, it just kept them from really attaining their potential. When you're out there, when a woman is out there choosing, or you're whoever you are is out there choosing what you want, changes the whole game, puts things in your perspective, makes things strong for you. And whatever this is, it's not like you can't do it, but you might have this preconceived notion that you're not supposed to do something. Same thing with business. I'm gonna have to watch myself on this one. Waiting for an opportunity versus going and creating it yourself. I've seen people move ahead in business before when they just go ahead and they make their own decisions and they just move forward as if they already have the position they want. That's a slippery slope. Take that with a grain of salt. I remember a person who wanted to be more in management. They just took control of things and did what they wanted anyway, and they were looking out for things and making sure things worked out correctly, and they got moved forward. That can be a double-edged sword. Be careful of that. Because if you don't do what they want, or you do it a way they don't like, that can backlash on you so fast. Or if they need a scapegoat, you could also become that person. Take that with a grain of salt. But for example, like they don't have, what seems to work in that situation in a beneficial way is kind of like without being told, you know, this needs to be done and that needs to be done. You just see it needs to be done, so you just do it. And then your manager goes, oh, that's already done. That's a good thing. And of course, you'd have to have a positive, thankful manager for that to work. Take that with a grain of salt. But this is one of those things also where people get stuck in a job and they just accept, like, this is what I have, versus like applying for other things at other companies or other places and searching out those opportunities. It's when people accept, like, this is what was handed to me, this is just what I have, so this is just what I have, versus like, okay, this would be uncomfortable, but I could do this. That might be a bit of a change, or like going for courses or going back to school for little things part-time, bringing up that degree and then going, all right, I got the degree now, let me go for here. It's taking that active choice. Taking the active choice will move you ahead in this situation. That's where your next opportunity is. Because I feel like for those of you who choose this, no matter what direction it is, once you go on the offensive versus the defensive, which I feel like waiting for somebody to hand me an opportunity, to me that's defensive, but I don't know if I'm using that word wrong because I have a feeling I am. Like waiting is not working. Going out there and creating, it's going to create a very positive social atmosphere for you. You'll probably gravitate towards other people looking to do the same thing. Even if you think it's not going to make a difference, it's having that attitude and just making it happen opens a lot of doors here. They are giving a little caveat with this. Not every opportunity you unearth is going to be worth your time. It's not about, okay, this may sound really contradictory, but it's not about having more opportunities. You'll probably have the same number of opportunities. It's the quality of what you're looking for. It's kind of like if you had 5 opportunities a month or a year or whatever, it's kind of like you might only still have 5 opportunities a month or a year, but they're the ones you want, not the ones somebody wants to give you, the ones you want to choose. It makes a big difference. Realizing that not every opportunity you unearth is going to be for you. I feel like we're trying to set this up in a realistic fashion. Just because you're out there looking doesn't mean every one you unearth is going to be what you want. But at the same time, when you realize it's not what you want, kind of like, I can have this, but do I want this? And going, okay, wait, I don't want this. Whew, there I go, bye-bye. I'm not sticking around somewhere I don't want to be because I've already been down that road. I'm not interested. It could take some time to get used to it. It could very much take some time to get used to it. But the more you do, you'll find what you're looking for, and that next level of happiness will come in to your life. You'll become very stable with it. You'll get used to it sooner than you think. Some of you maybe just haven't moved forward in this direction because maybe somebody or you were taught that that was not okay for you, or somebody gave you the impression, like people who do that, you know, bad things, and you're going to find that that's not the case. And once you start breaking that situational whatever it is going on in your head, once you break that pattern, you're not going to like what it was anymore, which is going to keep you from going back to the way it was. Once you break that pattern, you're like, well, I do this differently now. I like my results better now. I don't like what it was like before. I don't like how it felt. I don't like what I was given. Therefore, you're not going to return to the way it was. It'll start a whole new way of life for you. And that's where you'll find your real peace. There'll be a learning curve. I don't feel like anybody's shocked with that. But you may be quite shocked at what approaches you after this. Because if you want to go down this road, and I'm just going to go for it, like attracts like. The more you have that energy and you're out there searching for what you want, that energy is going to meet you halfway. And there's going to be energy or people looking for you the same way. They're like, oh, you want me? Great, because I want you too. And it meets in the middle, which is the way it kind of is most beneficial. It's kind of like, you both have that active energy coming together. It could be a romance thing. Could be a work situation where you're out there creating what you want, and then you're finding a job or company that has that same potential, kind of like, you're a go-getter, we're a go-getter, let's meet halfway and find what we can make happen here, because we love you and what you're doing, we hope you love us too. That type of thing. There's a lot more to be had here. Whatever this is, whoever this is hitting for, to create and get what you want, you have to be the active chooser. The active chooser. And I keep getting this, I keep seeing this where somebody is sitting there waiting to see what comes across their desk, waiting to see who wants to hang out with them, waiting to see who wants to dance with them, waiting to see what houses are in their money bracket, or I'm not using that word right, their financial status or whatever. Instead of waiting for that, even with the house things, kind of like, go find the houses that you like, and if they're not in the financial bracket you need them to be, keep looking, but don't accept that you just can't have what you want because you're afraid it's going to be too expensive. Keep looking. Don't accept those restrictions. Opportunities will show themselves. Okay. With the house thing, just because it's popping in. I've seen this before, not in a while, but I have seen this before where somebody shows interest in a house and it may be the first offer they put in doesn't get taken. Maybe somebody else even buys the house. But they keep their offer open, or they keep their interest in that house going. I've seen this happen before where, originally it wasn't in the money bracket. The money bracket is not the way to say that. It wasn't in their financial means to get it. But after, I think it was like 2.5 years, things changed, things got better, and they did get into that house, and they did get what they wanted. Opportunities changed, things went a different way, and they did end up with what they actually wanted. They just kept going for it. They went for what they actually wanted, not for what they were told they were allowed to have. Makes a big difference. Makes a big difference. All right, I think we're there. I'm going to shut this down here. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.